My name is RBC Daniel. For today's video, I'm going to share to you what I have learned in human rights. So, in human rights, under the teaching of Ma'am Kay Bagol, so human rights is rights given to the old person above the earth. So, there are declaration, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, after the World War II in 1945, the United Nations was formed or was begun. So, but before that, I'm going to share to you what I have learned or what I have something dang of the human rights. So I have all notes of the human rights. So first of all, first of the activity we do in the human rights was memorization of the um, memorization of the 1985, or what we call the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. So this is the Constitution. So in the 1987 Constitution, nakasulat dito nga, we the sovereign Filipino people imploring the aid of Almighty God, like that. So in Tagalog, kami ang nakapangyayaring mga Pilipino na humihingi ng tulong sa buong may kapakanan na. So in that activity, I learned a lot of things that the 1987 Constitution proposed by the government. So before I will continue my learnings or the activity that I do in the human rights. I want to share to you what I have learned the whole entire world. So in human rights, so for me, human rights is a given rights to all people in this earth. After the miracle was happened, so the formed the zygote, the egg cell, and the sperm cell was met, and it formed to zygote and fetus, and going to baby like you and me. So these are the activity. This are the human rights was made after the miracle was happened. So I've been research all the thing about human rights because after the memorization of the Constitution, and no, I think that is not Constitution, memorizing the 1987 Constitution. That's not the first activity. So I think the first activity was that searching defining human rights and discuss the characteristic of human rights and discuss the importance of human rights. That was the first activity I have done in human rights under the teaching of Miss Kay Bagol. So I researched before that human rights are the basic rights and freedom that belong to every person enrolled from birth until death. So human rights have different characteristics, which are the dignity and justice, development, environment, culture, gender, and participation. So that's all. So in the second topic, so in this part I'm going to discuss what are human rights and their different characteristics and also the importance of human rights. So at this point, I found out that human rights is a universal. So, and human rights is rights that possess rights and freedom that belong to every person um, after and from birth to death. So I have many things, a lot of things to share to you, but this time we have given 15 minutes to discuss what have I learned in human rights. So according to my second note, um so this in the second activity we was memorized this 1987 Constitution, which is under under the Republic Act of the Philippines. So we the sovereign Filipino people imploring the aid of Almighty God, like that. So in Tagalog, so and then so the second activity, what I don't know what it what activity number what it is this, but I've done searching or defining the activity, which is a research and summarize. So I researched before that Miranda versus Arizona, which is the Miranda Miranda law, or what you call Miranda case, like that. So 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 16, Section 6. So there's many lot of things to do that can break your brain. So I've been searched also the Republic Act number 4864, RA number 6975, RA number 8551, RA number 7438. So this Republic Act has very break your brain. It's a very long to discuss because it is for me, not for me. Our Republic Act was sa karayo tong republika gyud nato sa Pilipinas dire kay kinapi ra gyud sa laing lugar. So for example, the Republic Act number 4864. So in the Republic Act number 4864, an act creating the Police Commission at amending and revising the laws or relative and local police systems like that. So in this point, for me, not in this point, in generally, our Republic, not all, but almost, they are copied by other nation or another country of the earth. So in this point, so this they will show you that what it is. So according to Ma'am K Bagul, that human rights human rights are right we have simply because we exist as human rights. So they are not granted by any state. Human rights involve the basic rights focusing on the dignity and worth. So after the World War II, what I would say last few minutes, United Nations was formed or United Nations was begun. So one of the fruit of the United Nations was the human rights. So this is according to my notes. So that's my notes. According to Ma'am K Bago about what I would teach us. Lagi yan na. Tulo siya na mo. So there are basic rights and categories. So we have two. So the civil and political. So in this under this case, so torture. So right to life, provision from torture. So the second one is economic and social and cultural rights. So in this rights is focusing to the labor law. So rights to work and free and choices employment, rights to condition work, from trade unions, social security, all about labor's law. The labor's is under with this. So it's economic and social cultural law. So also solidarity collective rights. So she discussed Ma'am K. She discussed all about the rights of the tribe, or another thing the tribe or the culture of the people that never that, for example, the tribe this is the issue about it's not too old, but a latest issue about the tribes is sealing a culture. Oh, ano ba called? Never mind. So that is in this solidarity collective rights. So it is calling it's protecting the tribe or the culture of the people. So right to self-determination, right to the indigenous people or minorities, all cultural heritage and participation, and right to development. So in this house, it's what they call it's too long to discuss, but I'm going to share about the highlights lang. So basic characteristic of human rights. So we have 8 basic characteristics of human rights. So human rights and universal are universal. So human rights applying the principle of universal human rights are considered as general accepted principle international. So principle of international law, it basically refers to the norms or general or customary international law and binding on all states. They are available to all human rights effective in the region. So second is human rights are inalienable. So that's that. So nobody can take it away from you. So human rights is already you. You will use your human rights anywhere. ay lang adto sa North Korea kay murag dili ka sila sa human rights dito. So, example, the rights to liberty may so kung mapriso ka, na isa ka rights, na rights ni mo mawala. So the rights to liberty, so magdi ka pwede maka-move, makaliw-liw ba kadto another nation nga maka kanay matag mga gasmi web, maka sayaw dito or maka what we call what example of maka trouble maka yan. So, number 3 is human rights are equal and non-discrimination. So, in Article 1, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, like that, it states, all human beings are born free and equal dignity and rights. So, in Article 2, that like that, so, it stated the human rights. So, you can read the human rights, a human declaration of human rights. I will print it because I will memorize it. The final of the the exam of the midterm. So I find it because I'm going to memorize this all of this almost 30 articles. So you need to memorize it for makapasar ka naman, okay? So in number 4, human rights are inherent. So what we call inheritance. So inheritance. So they are not granted by a person, authority, so you're not that granted. It's not a privilege that will I give you the privilege to commando to care my son because you are not like that. No, that is not a human rights as a right. So if we're going to differentiate between the rights and privilege, rights is a very it's what we call right is inheritance, but privilege is a given term or a given hour or minutes or second or what do you call like that? Mawala ang privilege but ang right na ramitin mo. Right, except kung mapriso ka, mawala imong right sa liberty. Ooh! Human rights are imprescriptible. So, under the Republic Act number 9462, BAUC. So, I'm going to share about why I'm going to share to you the BAUC or Republic Act 9462. So, they cannot be lost even by a long passage of time, no expiration, unlike some rights such as property ownership of criminal and civil cases requirements of prescription. So, in this point, dili sila ka natawagan ni, basta mo na to siya. Kinakay ko matugad niya kay daas kayo on time kung ako'y tugad pa. So, human rights are indivisible, human rights are interdependent, nakasalalay at nagsalig ang kuan. Tapos, number 8 is human rights are fundamental. So, without them, the life and dignity of man will be meaningless. So, sources of human rights. So, sources of human rights are customary of international law or simply custom, generally accepted treaty law. Human rights are provided in international agreements such as trades, covenants, and conversion to have been collectively. So, human rights, education is defined as training, dissemination, and information efforts aimed at building universal culture of human rights. So, rights to liberty. So, your rights to liberty, if you're going to prison or to, what they call, you make a crime or labag sa batas sa tungkuan, your right to liberty was mawala siya. Pwede na mababalik siya, ba't mo pang karon imong kung sakto ba yun ka. So, if you are arrested, a human rights or provides that you are right to. So, going to Miranda rights, Miranda doctrine will apply. Yes. So you have in this statement, so the Miranda rights or Miranda doctrine. So there are for me there are 5 rights you will apply to you if you're going to dakop the police. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you can say will be used against you in the court of law. Excuse me. You have the right to talk. As a lawyer, to have the person with you while you are being questioned. So number 4, if you cannot afford to hire a law, so a lawyer rather, so no one will be appointed to person for questioning if you wish. So you can decide. So the last one is you can decide. So if you're going to dakop you without any listing, without anything else, so you can file a case which is pananapak ng human rights sa iyong kinabuhi. So right to life, so there's na have right to life, right to health, right to food, right to education, right to work, 6 months 6 months, 6 month, wait, sa kato sa, after the, the, mga anak ba? Pregnant labor, so knowledge makes a man, so, there's a quote, I've been searched before, so, I've been searched, or I think this quote quoting, was, nakita na ko ni sa kuan ni PPT ni ma'am, so, knowledge makes a man unfit to be slave. So, from Frederick Douglass. So, I think that's all our, what we call, given, discussed by man. So, but I'm going to share to you what I have learned in this printed paper. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This paper sucks very fucked up, cherries. So this paper is so dumb. Yeah, it's so very fuck up. So first of all, I'm going to share to you the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's, yeah, boy, this is man, yo. So it's very long people. Mas taas kayo ni sila. So in this point, we're going to blind our eyes using the black mask. So I'm going memorize it, but sad to say, I memorized 27 human rights. But mom, I don't want to. No, kanang ma-broke si mom. Bakit? She given 30 days, almost, 30 more days to memorize the 30 Declaration of Human Rights. But, I may start memorize before 1 week. Before, 1 week from now, 1 week to go, the midterm exam is started. So, I don't memorize all, but thank you, Lord, that there's black magic upon the whole universe that I know. So, even though 27 human rights I memorize it all because of it. So, first, today I'm not going to memorize the human rights because we're running out of time because it's 17 minutes. So, that's all for today. I'm going to share to you. I'm using the black. So this is my Mac mask. So I've been treasure all the math I'm using in the oral recitation. So like this, all human rights are born free. I like that. So you're going to share this video because I am cute. That's all. Thank you, ma'am. I am RBC than you, your boy again. So I'll miss you, ma'am, and I love you so much. I hope magkita pa ta sunod. And pa picture. Thank you.